Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to dig in with Draped in Gold. I'm Jack Farmer, being joined as always by NWO Flobo Boyce. Flobo, how are you feeling on this beautiful Wednesday?
Man, I can't call it. Can you believe 198 episodes of Draped in Gold, which means in 2 weeks' time, we got to celebrate a big baby. What you got planned? Tell me.
Man, I don't have anything planned, to be totally honest.
Well, I could say...
Jack, it's yes and. What are you doing, Jack?
I know, right? I got another plan. Let's do it. But yes, Draped in Gold 200s in 2 weeks. And next week, Draped in Gold Homecoming, a special episode. Oh my goodness, it's going to be great.
Oh, man, we got tons of folks in the chat. So cool to see Mike Wexler saying my favorite show. Danny saying hello. Wheel 5 Studs saying, what's up, gentlemen? I know it's been a while. I've been really busy with all my content stuff, but figure I'd pop in, say hello. How are you doing tonight? Well, Wheel 5 Stud, it's great to hear from you. Glad you've been busy. How am I doing? I'm doing bad. Bad. I put in the Just for Men in the beard, getting rid of some grays today. And
what did you do? I'm curious.
What was that?
What color did you pick?
I don't know. I just grabbed one. Chestnut might be it, actually. I just grabbed one off the shelf. Flobo, you have no idea how reckless I am with this stuff.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm not doing good. I used it today and I spilled a little on the sink, and now it's stained, and I'm just waiting to get a finger wagon when anyone finds out about it. I can't clean up this stuff. Dude, this stuff is so staining. I mean, I don't know if you use it, Flobo.
Not yet.
Man, you better not get that stuff anywhere because it'll stay there forever. In any case.
Wait, hold on. Were you just like scared, like, holy crap? Or you just went, well, guess I'm on the couch tonight. Like, how did that, like, what was going through your mind when that happened?
I'm ready for anything right now. I've got my stuff packed up. I got a go bag ready. I got a...
Just a minute, anonymous.
So I'm calling Just for Men, seeing if they have a game plan for this situation. What to do?
Code 3, it happens.
Man, it does not come out. But anyways, I'm hoping everybody is ready to have a good time. We're ready to have a good time.
Oh
here. Wheel 5 Stud, this is going to be a week. I want to do something special this week. I want to open up the floodlines, open up the floodgates to questions, to comments, to concerns in the open chat. Wheel 5 Studs got one already for us. Please forgive me if you've already answered this question 1 million times, but I haven't been here in a little bit. What are your guys' thoughts on the ESPN deal with WWE? Wheel 5 Stud, fortunately, we've only discussed it 999,999 times. So you're the winner, number 1 million. Flobo Boyce, how do you feel about the ESPN deal with WWE?
I feel like by the time I start answering this, he's going to go back to doing his content stuff because he seems to be super busy. Let's be that guy. No, I'm just kidding. Wheel 5 Stud.
Not even going to listen to the answer.
I like the idea, right? Because if you want to tag WWE's history into one kind of thing, it's a predetermined show that's been trying to be seen as legitimate for the entirety of its history. And when it comes to sports, you have a brand in ESPN that's great, that's top level, but aging and trying to figure out what the schedule is going to be. If you have a chance to slot in there, it's great. I think the price point is going to be a friction point, as they say in marketing, for a lot of fans because we're used to $9.99, we're used to streaming, we're used to going on the high seas. I get all that.
I know what you mean.
Hey, 9 times out of 10, ESPN says a lot more than Peacock does.
That's my big thought about it is what we've learned is WWE is going to try to get their money, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But I always say, like, when you're looking for something to say, like, if I'm talking to you, Flo, like, have you seen this show on Peacock? Most people are like, I don't have Peacock. I don't know. Yeah. But if you say, have you seen it on ESPN? Like, oh, yeah, I've got ESPN. I want to watch that. Or if I'm a sports-driven person, I probably have that. So just in the naming, to me, I think it's a big upgrade.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is about ESPN is they are kind of, even though people disagree, they still kind of are a tastemaker. I'm a big baseball guy. I have the MLB.TV app, but Sunday Night Baseball is the ESPN tradition. I may not be the most well-versed in WNBA basketball, but every game that gets on ESPN, I've seen a lot more times than what Lifetime has, which has a lot more games. So it's a perfect sampling. And so when you're at this level, and I mean for WWE, right, this is a renaissance here. The business is hot. They can only be sustainable by new and casual fans That's how they do it. Because frankly, hardcore fans like you and I are getting priced the heck out. So you need to get new fans in there. And how do you do that? Go on the biggest marquee, the biggest platform, the biggest stages.
And we'll talk about that pricing out in a little bit. But yeah, ESPN also, it's bundled up with like Disney and Hulu and stuff. So it's actually not, the price is higher, but I feel like you're also getting a lot more with it as well.
I should get on Hulu. I miss Hulu. I had Hulu when it was free. Remember it was like free, and then that was like years ago.
The good old days. Mike Wexler says, I have a question. Will we see clean-shaven Jack Farmer soon? I've been clean-shaven before. I've been clean-shaven many times.
Not me, though.
I usually regret it after I shave. So you will probably see a shaved version of Jack in the near future. Maybe not clean shaven. It just doesn't look right when I clean shave. I'm not a fan of it. Not a big fan.
I would like to go back, but I've been told and advised by my small network of people. I won't say friends because you're not in there. You don't think I'm my friend either. Who says if I go out of beard gang, it's not the same trying to get back in. So I'm in for life.
You should try shaving.
Oh no, I'll show you old pictures of me without a beard. It is different.
I've seen them, and you should do it just for fun.
No,
just like a point in the lap. We should both shave for the 200th episode.
Well, we should. We know what it is. I feel like there's going to be a time when I want to have the multicolored beard happening, and it's not going to be even. I should do like a relief shave and wait until I become all silver foxy. But I don't know.
Wheel 5 Stud says, I'm glad they're leaving Peacock. That's the best thing for me. Ask the question, Flobo, I'll pose to you. Are you going to Vegas for Worlds Collide? That was, you were at the first Worlds Collide, right?
No, I have not been to Worlds Collide.
That's right. You had to. Yeah. You went to the other one. That's right.
The second Worlds Collide, I guess. Wait, no, this is the fourth Worlds Collide. Is that the first Worlds Collide of the year or the fourth Worlds Collide? I'm not sure how you count that, but I did not go to the one they had. I would love to go to Vegas. It's just, again, I can't afford these tickets. I mean, and I really hate to sound like an old curmudgeon, but when my first wrestling show, my first Raw, $18 got you in the building at Madison Square Garden. Mm-hmm. And then ringside was $75. Now I know inflation's a thing. I get that. But I saw SmackDown in Cleveland this year. So a regular SmackDown, granted, it was the one after Hulk Hogan passed away. And the get-in price was $85. I was up against the roof for $85. And I'm just like, at that point, you might as well watch at home. I mean, the prices are not for me anymore.
Well, let's go into it because we've teased it enough at this point. We should just go into it. Mark Shapiro of TKO recently said that prices are going to go up for WWE. So if you think they're high now, they're going to continue to go up. Said that Vince McMahon was always focused on families attending events, where Mark Shapiro says, I want whoever has the most money to go to these events, which is, it's funny. First off, who would have ever thought that we'd be saying that Vince McMahon was kinder to us when it came to prices and money? But also, it shows us, yes, prices are going to continue to go up. They're going to continue to get more expensive. And Flobo, I just have a ton of questions about whether or not people can sustain going to these shows. And obviously, if you can sell a ticket for a lot more money, sell that ticket. But how often are people going to be buying these tickets? I just worry that we're going to come around to a year from now and people will have given up on buying tickets to WWE shows.
And absolutely right. Look, I get sports across the board are going up. In fact, the WNBA champions, New York Liberty, has like fans protesting, wearing orange shirts, saying this because we're priced out. So it's across all sports right now. Times are hard because they know sports are one of the few things people will still go out and buy for. But the idea with Vince McMahon's pricing strategy was if you get a kid hooked at 5, 4, 3 years old, they're a fan for life and will pay you back. I think this strategy now is, we'll price up dynamically. And if we have to bring things down for a couple of years or two, that's great. But when it comes down, it won't be as cheap as it was back then. So it's almost like gas prices. You're never going to see a $15 get-in price for SmackDown anymore. It may come down to $45 and be seen as a deal, but those days are long gone.
Yeah, and even if they did bring the prices down, you could just imagine the uproar that would be on the internet of WWE having to lower ticket prices, or how shareholders may view that, and the litany of things that could happen now once you start to scale back. That's right. We're an educated show.
A myriad, yes. Learning stuff today.
And I'm out of big words for...
I'll get some more, I promise.
I'm out of gargantuan words for us to use for this. But yeah, I'm very interested to see. I mean, look, they're in the business of making money. This is the thing, and I've said it before, but this is also where I go online. I see so many people talk about, oh, this is what's best for business. I care about people making money. I care about the business side of the business and all that. And I always say, man, now you can't go to shows. Now you can't afford to go see these shows. Now you've got to see commercials while you're watching PLEs or whatever.
Right.
You got to see Slim Jim on the tables. This is what you want. This is what you think is great. All the people that say the business is most important to me, I just care about the numbers. This is what you love, is Slim Jim written on a ladder while Prime energy bottles are stacked up next to the ring. It costs you $75,000 to be in the furthest back seat, and this is what you care. This is what you really wanted.
Are you ranting at the state of wrestling right now, Jack? Are you let me know?
I just liked it when it wasn't cool, but it was affordable. That's right. What I liked.
All right, indie bands. That's the price of doing business. No, I totally understand that, man. Because the advertising thing, again, I gotta give another thing for credit to Vince for, like not having advertising on the canvas, right? That to me was like a sacred line that been crossed. But another issue I have, and I'm not knocking anyone in Indianapolis going to WrestlePalooza, is that these premium live events, there really isn't a hierarchy to them either. Like they just show up in 6 weeks. We're going to Mars, like, and that's it. It's going to be on the same level as Crown Jewel and WrestleMania. Like it just, I don't know what's worth saving up for. You know, like when I went to my first WrestleMania, it was WrestleMania 26. That was Streak versus Career, Taker, Michaels 2. It was WrestleMania, so I saved up because it was going to the biggest show. But I just, not me, but theoretical me, guy with a stable financial outlook me, just came back from France, and you have a show that's 9 weeks in Perth, and oops, in 3 weeks we have a show that's going to be in Indianapolis. It's like, what? Like, how do I plan for things now?
Yeah, and it's, I mean, I'm looking at, I just pulled up Worlds Collide ticket prices just to see kind of where they're at. And without doing a whole lot of searching, they all look like they are on StubHub. You're looking at about $180 to get in the door. The cheapest is $180 for what's left, to be fair. So I don't know what was available before all that, but yeah, man, it's just
not to be rude. First Lucha show was $20, and I complained then. I was like, it was in the backyard behind a bar, and I was like, $20 for Lucha. Now you're saying $180 to get in the building.
180 again. There may have been cheaper tickets before. This is what's available, so I don't know if it had been cheaper before this, but yeah, to your point, it's just it's to your point about the hierarchy is they had also mentioned that I believe it's Mark Shapiro also mentioned that they're hoping WrestlePalooza can be another big event on the scale of a WrestleMania event. And first off, it's always funny to me when they say something like that, because WrestleMania is big because they make it big. It's not big. Like the name has nothing to do with it. WrestlePalooza, it's just what you call Worlds Collide could be the biggest show of the year if they wanted it to be.
Absolutely.
But you can't make every single show the biggest show of the year. Otherwise, you get in the exact same situation that AEW is in, where every show they say this is the big one.
100%. And I remember we were sitting there for years going, which is your biggest show? And I actually wrote about this on justasandwich.com a couple months ago. Plug. It was like, okay, WrestleMania used to be the only show that's going to be in stadiums. And then WrestleMania was going to be the only one that was 2 nights. And now it's WrestleMania is only going to be the one where like it's going to be on the level of Crown Jewel. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you keep pushing the goalposts, and yeah, it's great if I get to go to a WrestlePalooza and get that experience. But now, how can you justify a premium price, i.e., going back to Vegas for the same show, now theoretically charging more if I just went to Australia to see a show? I just went to Paris to see a show, and Berlin last year.
Yeah, I don't know how much higher they can get. I didn't go to WrestleMania this year. I was in Vegas and I chose not to go because it was just it was too pricey for my blood. So I decided to pass on it and watch it on the television.
Wait, what do you blow your money on, Jack? Because as long as I've known you, you don't spend money on anything. Like, what's the one thing you're like, I'm getting this? Like,
Flobo, I gamble on wrestling.
Yeah, you do. That is. I lost my $20 of crypto and I was done. But this guy, this guy's crazy.
I got nothing. I thought Goldberg was gonna win. I thought
No
he
one did.
was gonna
Nobody
win.
did.
But if he did, I would have cashed in, baby.
That's like
Would
a
have.
bad poker player. If I would have won, I would have been rich. All right,
Hey,
Dad.
how many people right now are ripping up old lotto tickets thinking I could have had $1 billion?
I got the Mets win the World Series. I almost ripped it up today. It's not even October. I'm like, you know what? It's not happening.
You should have ripped that up the second they printed it, Flobo.
I know.
Why even have it?
That's just blind loyalty, man.
Los B says, glad AEW exists. I can afford to take my kiddo to AEW shows. And that's one of the reasons why it is good to have options, is that you have a market there. But Flo, that's something we chatted about before, is it feels like with what's going on, not playing sides, this is the chance for an AEW to really strike if they could find a way to get past the issues that hold them back.
Yeah, I think AEW has a separate problem because I think, and we I alluded to this in our group chat, group of
Mhm.
two, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, the price is a lot more competitive. They go to smaller venues, an intimate experience, but it's on television, so you can theoretically tell your kid or nephew, "Hey, look, next week you get to be there and see." I don't know, Kyle Fletcher live. But I will say though, there is a little bit less when it comes to the pomp and circumstance. Like, oh, when I was a kid, my favorite wrestlers are always like the colorful ones that were just kind of weird. They didn't win a lot, but they won when I
Mhm.
watched. Like
Yeah.
Tatanka, and I know Duke Josie had his own tragic like story, but when I was a kid, I was a big Duke Josie fan. I think the problem WWE has right now that AEW can capitalize on is everyone's just tough. I'm just strong and I'm athletic and I'm tough. Here's the time to duel up more with Tony Storms and those Jamie haters and really get into those colorful characters that a kid can latch onto and say, hey, look, my dad watched WWE, but when I was a kid, I sure as heck loved Alex Windsor or whatever.
I feel like we're kind of jumping around today, but I definitely am. I've always said I feel like AEW's biggest problem right now is the consistency of who's on TV and who's not on TV. We chatted again in our two-person group, the two-person power trip group chat. Is where'd Megan Bain go? Thekla had just a small appearance this week, and we'll talk about AEW in a bit. After being featured every week, and now she's not on TV anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like what happened to her? It's kind of across the board. There are people who are on TV, they're there for a while, and then they disappear for no reason, and then they're gone for months, and then when they're brought back, it's hard to feel the same way because you're like, you've been gone for 9 months. Why do I care
Yeah.
about you? We saw it on AEW tonight where Riho and Sakura.
Sakura.
What's her first name? Emi Sakura.
Emmy,
Emi Sakura.
EMI.
Uh, Emi Sakura is great, but where has she been for the past year? It's hard to feel like it's serious and this is a tough matchup when it's three people who've been on TV for the past few weeks and one person who hasn't been on TV. And frankly, Riho has been on TV the past few weeks, but she was gone for like 9 months before that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a match there where it's like, well, who are these people anymore? And that's where for me AEW needs to start getting more consistent so that when I do get a ticket to an AEW show, I'm like, cool, I know I'm going to see this person, and this person. I always say WWE, if you tell me Raw is coming to town in 2 months, I would wager Seth Rollins will be on the show, Braun Breaker will be on the show, CM Punk will be on the show, Becky Lynch will be on the show. I know who's going to be on the show, but when
Right.
I go to if AEW in 2 months, no idea. And that's not in a
No
good
idea.
way, no idea. It's a, man, I sure hope Kenny Omega shows up. I hope,
Right.
Kyle Fletcher shows up. I hope I get to see Adam Page, which that shouldn't be the case. It should be, I know I'm going to see these 6 to 10 people, and then there'll be some fun people around it.
Right. And I want to be a hot take here. I'll say it. Hey, I understand Excalibur will always be a better commentator at wrestling than I am. You don't have to count every pin. I can count to 3, sir. Don't insult my intelligence.
Yeah, I agree with that. We can see the count, and yeah, we don't need the 1, 2.
3! 3!
Yeah, we
Sorry.
don't need that. We don't need that.
We're a positive
happening.
show, but ugh.
We don't need that happening every time. But a lot of good stuff going on as well. And I want to talk to you about, speaking of the big shows, I was talking about WrestleMania
Well,
43.
oh,
Well, yeah, Big Show. Big Show's theme, one of the best slappers of all time.
what? No, that is a lame song that grew on you. That's different.
That might be true. But if I was to make a list of the top 10 songs that best fit a wrestler, I
Yeah.
would put that one in there. Flobo, what other 9 songs did you put in the top?
I was telling you this week. Like, One of a Kind has to be up there, where it's like that's RVD. That's 100% RVD. You can't be like Justin Gabriel coming out to that. Like,
Yeah, what's wrong with Justin Gabriel?
he can't come out to that song. He's
What
great.
a name drop, Justin Gabriel.
You know what it was? His theme song got moved to Dave Otunga's. That stuck in my head for like 20 years. All about the power. Okay,
So that'll be a fun little thing for the chat and for the comments. Let us know what theme song, and we're not just saying which one's the best, but which theme songs perfectly fit the wrestler that they were assigned to. Flobo saying RVD, one of a kind. I'm saying Big Show. Let us know what you guys think.
Mark Henry? Whoa.
Oh,
what?
that one's so
Whoa.
good. That one is so good. Danny C saying the one that has to be said is ass man.
It does not have to be said. See, don't listen to the guy like
I'm
Scott.
an ass man. Flobo, break it down.
No, I actually had that cassette.
I love to kick 'em. I love to stick 'em.
I think one of the most. I had the cassette. I just remember the lyrics.
To be fair, when you look at what happened with his career, I love to stick him. I mean, that was character development, I think.
Stick asses. That doesn't even make. It makes sense. I just got that.
Batista, I Walk Alone. That's a good one by Los B. I walk alone.
But he was in the
hit of danger. So cool. So
I like it.
It's so good. I love the over the top songs that are just like so on the nose. It's fantastic. But anyways, in the chat, in the comments, let's keep knowing, keep telling us what songs are the best fitted to the wrestler. I want to talk to you a bit about, we talked about these big shows. WrestleMania 43, the rumor and the scuttlebutt is it will be happening in Saudi Arabia, and some people are upset about that. Some people myself are saying it was only a matter of time. We all knew. Flobo, you can be upset about it, but tell me in your heart of hearts, you didn't know that at some point this was going to happen. WrestleMania, Saudi Arabia. And I should say at this point, I believe it's still rumor and innuendo. So let's just keep that little asterisk on there. So let's recklessly speculate.
Look, if you told me this 3 years ago, I'd have been like, yeah, it's a matter of time. Of course, right? Like Saudi Arabia put a lot of money in. You can't just keep giving them the unplugged second controller and say you're playing the game. I get that. But with all these new PLEs coming and everything's being elevated, I was like, did we need a WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia? I mean, you already get in the Rumble, you have your own. But I will say this. The cool thing about WrestleMania, besides the fact that it's like, up until now, someplace I can travel to, which I understand our international fans have to travel great distances, is everything else. It's the Comic-Con / aspect of other promotions buying real estate and doing things around WrestleMania. So WWE to get their money. Their money's already paid for, and those who can afford to fly or would like to fly to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will do so. But I miss going at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning and saying, "Oh, what's on?" I could never go. I'm really tired then, but I like to know what's going on in town, and you're going to miss that aspect of it.
You know, this is where we look at the counter programming WWE's been doing with AEW, and I think moments like this are where AEW could really strike back, especially this year during WrestleMania. I think, like people have said online before, this isn't a new thought, but I agree with it. Doing a big show in New Orleans WrestleMania weekend, I think would be a huge shot back. I think doing the same thing, WrestleMania 43 there in Saudi Arabia. I think if AEW did a big show somewhere in the United States or somewhere in Europe or something like that, that's maybe a bit more accessible for that kind of circus atmosphere that you're talking about. I use this as an excuse to steal that away and suck that all up. I don't think that they're going to do it in 1 year. Don't get me wrong. You're not going to change that. But I think that there's a lot of people who probably already bought tickets to New Orleans that weekend, let's say this week or this year for WrestleMania. I say take advantage of it. Say, bring all your conventions here. Just do it. We'll have a show. I
Yeah.
think the same thing here in the United States. If a lot of these places, the collective goes to WrestleMania every year. If
Mhm.
the collective says we can't do that, AEW should be like, look, okay, we'll do a show. Come be around us and really try to take advantage of it. I think that's a way that AEW could really get on the offense.
Yeah, for the sickos, right? Like that's kind of I understand it's a very hardcore wrestling thing to do to have this like collective parade kind of thing. But yeah, I think if everyone's used to having some place to travel to in April where we can connect and combine like in collab and stuff like that under the guise of wrestling where it's really all day and all night, I feel like that to me, I know WWE doesn't get paid to them, it doesn't matter to them, but this
Mhm.
matters for the art form and how we
Yeah.
pass on to others. So
Well, and I think it also, the more you extend a bridge to other opportunities like that, the better it is, especially for an AEW who has never been shy about working with different promotions and companies. I know WWE is doing that now, but I feel like it's still a bit more professional, if that makes sense.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know. I
yeah.
don't know the right way to phrase it, but like, I feel
Yeah,
like
it's
yeah, go ahead.
AW people hang out together with WWE. It's like a subcontract deal.
Right,
Like,
right.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
So I think that'd be fantastic. Danny C with the question: do you think it'll still be 2 nights in Saudi? Absolutely, I think so. What do you disagree?
I think the entire Wrestle Week is has to go there. Everything's gonna be there. So yeah, 2 nights of wrestling, sure, but you might get NXT on a third night because the way I understand it, like after Friday, you could do something Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or you could do something Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Like it could be a whole thing.
Yeah, I think they're going to do something pretty big there as well. Because I think they're also going to go out of their way to make sure that it still feels like WrestleMania as we know it. So to your point, Flobo, yeah, I think you're going to have NXT doing a show, a Hall of Fame, SmackDown, probably Raw as well. I think it's going to be a massive weekend. They're going to dominate the weekend like they usually do.
Can I ask a question about here? Los B's
Yeah.
comment here. It says, did it feel like it was only a matter of time? But what bothers him is that the first WrestleMania out of the States is the United Kingdom. Now, I've heard this before, and UK has been a fantastic partner for WWE, but why was it understood that UK would have been the first non-American WrestleMania spot?
Those people have to answer that for themselves. But I think for me, it's just because of that SummerSlam decades ago. And there was always this, they got to go back. They got to do something big. It never happened. And I mean, now they've been there a number of times, but I think the big tentpole event has always sort of been looming as to like they need to do that again. And that's probably why it's sort of ingrained in us at this point that WWE needs to go back to the UK for a SummerSlam or something like that.
Hmm.
Danny C says, I think Cena kind of promised.
Oh, right. The London Mayor has been trying as well. But
Yeah.
still, Saudi Arabia, baby. Saudi Arabia.
Hey, like we started at the beginning, if you want this to happen now, you've got to pay up. That's how it's got to work. And
That sounds so
look,
terrible.
that's the truth, though. You
I
got to.
mean,
If
yeah,
you're
but you
Cena,
said
you
it's a
want to
matter of
share.
fact.
You got to pay. You got to pay up. You got to pay the money. You got to pay
Damn,
the
man.
piper. That's what happened. That's the business. If you want WrestleMania to come to your town, tell your local government to use your tax dollars to bring them in so you can spend your untaxed dollars buying a ticket. That's what you got to do.
I love wrestling, man, but I'm not. Man, that's awful. That's awful, man. Like you gotta pay full price. But I'm just like, man. Look, we all know wrestling is predetermined, but it has to be a ceiling when we go. All right, I wouldn't spend $6,000 for a Broadway ticket. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what are we doing?
Right,
But
right. And these are shows that are 5 times a week, by the way.
right.
So it does get very expensive. But again, they're making money. I'm happy for them. They're filling their retirement out. Question from Danny C. Flobo. This one goes to you. Danny C says, I have a question. Why does Flobo love ska so much?
Danny, see, I have you know that Sky's evil. No one does Sky well. I think ska was corrupted by checkered pattern fedoras and stupid long bass guitars. It's awful. No one likes ska. And anyone who says they love ska is just lying to you. Or they used to be cool, they're no longer cool anymore.
You say there's no good ska because there's only great ska, right?
Shut up!
And
Shut
for
up!
someone making fun of black and white hats, you've got an interesting choice on
The
today.
Wolfpack one was sold out because it's the better faction. That's why.
Oh, that is just not true.
Oh, Wolfpack clears. That's the only that was left. It was because no one liked Hollywood except for Jack Farmer. But
The Wolfpack.
Don't
Can't
turn
even
your
finish
back on
spelling
the
the
Wolfpack.
name.
What?
The song
You
was,
don't need the K.
song was a banger, though. I'm not going to
Yeah.
try to fight. Don't turn your body winds up in a body bag.
Hey.
Low Speed says, my concern now will be that somehow WrestleManias end up being in Saudi like every 2 to 4 years because the money they pay. It might happen. I mean, they're doing
Yeah.
Vegas back, so that might be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you pay that.
Well, okay, and all I'm gonna be respectful here. I know we're kind of wasted half the show talking about this, but would there be any kind of pretense that would make you go willing as a fan to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to watch a WWE show?
Outside of the cost,
like if you're not working the event and you had the money though, would you hop on a plane and go to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for a WWE show?
I don't think I would go there just for that. No. Assuming I had that kind of money, because I mean, obviously for me here in California, that's a plane ticket, that's a hotel, that's a plus the cost of going to the shows. So that's just too cost prohibitive. But if I was to go somewhere, like I'd want to make a trip out of it more than just for the show.
Right.
So I wouldn't make a trip like that just for a show.
Wow. You hate wrestling. I get it.
And it'd be hard to go to WrestleMania and not make a trip about the show because, as we said, it's all week. It's the entire thing.
It's also a 15-hour flight from Los Angeles. I checked.
Right. Yeah, it's a long flight.
Yeah.
Speaking of long flights, I have a question for you, Flobo. And I previewed this, and this is just for funsies because I'm a psychopath and I want to make your life difficult.
True.
Last week, I asked you if AEW and WWE could trade a wrestler so John Cena could have Edge for one matchup. This week, I'm going to ask you, a lot of wrestlers are becoming movie stars these days.
No.
The Rock famously slimmed down recently, and now we've got everyone trying to become an actor. It seems MJF just got signed to do Violent Night 2, it sounds like, after being in Happy Gilmore 2.
Right.
My question to you is, the movie studios say, Flobo, we need a wrestler. We need a wrestler to star in our new Men in Black reboot.
What?
I need to know what two wrestlers will play the main characters in the Men in Black reboot. Here's the asterisk. Here's the part that makes it difficult. These wrestlers can have no previous acting experience, no commercials, no movies, no TV shows. Who do you got as the stars of the new Men in Black? And I will also send this to the chat and the comments.
So I have to basically assume the entire roster's backstory and like cross-check right now on the spot if they did a commercial for anyone.
Yeah. Or I can't know. I mean,
right, because Jey Uso was in a Slim Jim commercial. He doesn't count.
He's not available.
LA Knight's
off the table. Yep.
Someone. Okay, what's it one more time? Men in Black.
Men in Black reboot.
Okay.
Can be any wrestler, any two wrestlers from any company. So I'll open it up so it doesn't have to just be WWE or AEW. It can actually be one of each. It can be TNA. I'll open it up. So if you want to do one WWE, one AEW, that's totally fine.
Yeah. Does this person have to? Are managers okay?
Sure. If you think they could play the role of Men in Black.
All right, I got it.
Paul Heyman?
No.
Is he the sugar water guy? Sugar water.
I get to see him negotiating. You need to leave. There it goes. I got Oba Femi.
Okay.
And Smart Mark Sterling.
Interesting. As the two leads.
Yeah. The comedy writes itself.
Oba Femi's playing Tommy Lee Jones' character.
Absolutely.
And Smart Mark
Will Smith if he's Smart Mark Sterling. He makes it look good.
That's an interesting pair. It's interesting because Oba's so big that it would be a different take on the movie.
Have you seen Twins? Classic.
I kind of like it though, because I think Oba Femi does a good job with the accent and everything. So That might be a good pick. We got Montez Ford and Joe Hendry as a throw in there. That would actually could do pretty good. I think I like Montez Ford in that role. I think that would be a good spot. I think you need someone who is going to be able to like stone faced and look uninterested for the other role though. And
that's Oba.
That's Oba. I don't know. I need to think on it. But I like.
Wait, hold on. You don't have one already loaded?
No, I said I'm a psycho. It's just to torment you. I've got nothing.
That's awful.
Oh my goodness, Danny C with the answer. Akira Tozawa and Lance Storm. The combination
one person
power
watching that movie. No,
coming together.
They would lose so much money. You would kill the franchise.
That would be all right. This franchise is DOA already when we get this a non-acting.
Akira Tozawa and Lance Storm. I wouldn't know what the conversation would be like.
That would be a fantastic show. Let's talk about some pro wrestling from this week, shall we?
On this show? Why?
I know this one's gone on. We never saw the rails this week, Flobo.
We did not.
AJ Lee returned this week and came back on SmackDown, cuts a promo on Raw. I want your thoughts on it, but also I want to ask you about how the return happened. I want your thoughts overall, but also the decision to go with the worst kept secret aspect of the debut, as opposed to a completely shocking, not teased at all. Oh my God, she's here. So to compare CM Punk twice, the AEW debut where everyone knew he was coming versus the WWE return where it was like, oh my goodness, he's here. Do you have do you think they did it the right way?
They had
overall thoughts.
So I am not sure if the WWE shop tweet was part of the like planned or not. I feel so sorry for the intern if it wasn't planned. But like I said last week, AJ Lee is great to us millennial fans or Gen Y fans because she was from that era that got chased out, unfortunately, by the environment of her work, but she never came back. Almost everyone from that era was seen in the crowd, or they did a bit, or they had a run. She was like, in some ways, like Kenny Omega, where it was like, will Kenny Omega ever wrestle stateside? Like, it was like this mystique about it. But you have to reestablish why that's important for this story in this time, because it had been almost 2 decades, or I guess like over 10 years since we last seen her. So yeah, having Punk being outsmarted by Becky, getting the emasculating thing, it was great. It's the best way to reestablish somebody because you have to pretend like these people don't know who she is.
That's one of the things I really loved. So first off, if I didn't know anything, I would say do the surprise. Don't tease it at all. But looking at how things unfolded, I think they did it right. It's hard to argue, like, right? Like it worked. It was great. It's hard to top. What I really liked, though, the best part about it to me was the promo she cut on Raw, because it's so simple, but like she came back, she said who she is, where she's been, and why she's back. And it sounds so, well, duh, but like so often you hear promos and they're nothing about that kind of stuff. It's either just, I'm going to put down my opponent, or I'm just going to big up myself, or sometimes you get the spooky character who's like the dark trees of mystery. And you're like, what are you saying?
Trees.
I love that she's just like, hi, I'm AJ Lee. I wrestled 10 years ago. I stepped away for also a good message. I stepped away to take care of my own mental health.
Therapy.
We got a therapy chant in pro
twice. We did it again. I loved it.
So I thought that, wow, they knocked this out of the park. And I feel like everyone involved has been just at the top of their game ever since. I mean, have you ever wanted to see have you ever wanted to see Seth Rollins get punched in the face more than right now to see CM Punk finally get his hands on him? Or Becky Lynch feels like she's cutting the best promos of her career, and it feels like she's in there with someone who actually is on her level in that regard. And I feel like this is the best she's ever been. I think this entire thing has been absolutely pitch perfect.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not even the biggest mixed tag fan, I guess. Maybe because we don't get enough of them consistently and I always feel like they're exhibitions than real things. But here's something with some real stakes. I still have questions about the Vision. I don't know what they want. I don't know what they have for lunch. I don't understand why Braun and Braun are even hanging out with each other. I still love the fact that the internet calls them the Seth Riders. But this little
Mhm.
sub story means so much to me because it is a throwback because that's what WWE did well. When I was watching wrestling in the 90s, they brought back Nikolai Volkov and Bob Backlund, and my dad would gather me around and tell me stories. And if I had nieces and nephews, I'll do the same with them with AJ Lee. So it totally works.
You know, I call the tag team the Braun Soon personally, but
Oh, that's
the
great. That's really good.
but
Yeah.
this is my thing, and this goes to, by the way, I think the Don Callis family and the Seth Riders is I something that bugs me about both teams is I want teams to dress in a way that lets me know that they are linked or have something about them that lets me know that they're together. The Death Riders wear the white t-shirts, right? The NWO wore the NWO shirts. Evolution would always wear the suits when they were backstage or doing something else.
Right.
The best teams, they do something so that, the New Day would always wear the same bright colors and things. So they always look like they were together. But like on Raw this week, Seth and Becky definitely looked like they were together. Braun and Braun looked like they were together. But if this was your first week of watching wrestling, you would never think that the Brauns and Seth and Becky were connected in any way. And I feel the same exact way about the Don Callis family with, Kyle Fletcher and Lance Archer. I do not believe for a second his characters would hang out together because they look and act nothing alike. And that's a bother to me, Flobo.
That's a
Am I
bother.
being too, am I being too like fashion sense? I mean, I'm very fashionable, but do you think that that's being too fashion sense oriented?
Did you just put yourself over? I am fashionable.
Every chance I get.
I
If
am
I if
tapping.
I don't do it, no one will.
You know what? I was going to start to disagree with you. I was going to be like, well, man, who cares, man? Like, it's modern wrestling, and we all know they're together. But you're absolutely right. This division, or whatever they want to call them, has never felt like it made sense collectively. Like they've been on screen together. I mean, Bronson Reed, I love him to death. He got some shoes out of the deal, but I don't really know what they want collectively. And so you add in Becky, and I go, why would Becky even be in this? The Judgment Day, as much as they have their own problems, kind of felt like they were a bunch of rapscallions hanging out in the clubhouse. I'm not
Mhm.
really sure what they want. And so I think Monday, even though we love AJ's return and thank for that, because we kind of forgot about the flaws of what Seth and Becky and what Paul wants, this is a real big problem that can really become, I won't say a cancer, but like can really put holes
Yeah.
in Raw if it's not addressed quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, mentioning Judgment Day, I mean, they all dress the same, like they dress similar, like they look like they hang out. And Judgment Day, by the way, is actually fascinating that like its theme hasn't changed a whole lot, but like it kind of has over the years, as far as when you look at
Yeah.
the change in the members and sort of how they present themselves. But they've always felt like the way they dress lets me know, oh, I could see Finn and Raquel Rodriguez hanging out because they're dressed the same and they're in this clubhouse that looks the same. And
Yeah.
I just that the vision I think definitely needs to find some way, but at the same time, I can't see the Bronze dressing like Seth Rollins, with like the big
Yeah.
glasses and like
Right.
but they need something so it feels like they're together because especially without Paul Heyman there, it really feels disjointed at this point. But some of the best stuff, I don't mean to just be sour on that. I'm loving what they're doing
Don't you
there.
dare be sour.
Also, something I thought was a pretty big deal. Jey Uso is feeling pretty chiefy lately in that he has been he attacked LA Knight. First of all, he's kind of becoming a jerk. He attacks LA Knight
Who
to
doesn't
end
take LA
Raw.
Knight though? That's kind of a thing everyone does.
It is. Why though?
Yeah.
I love LA Knight. LA Knight's one of my favorites. I love hearing him call people dummies.
That's an Eli Drake thing. Look, the writing's on the wall, and I want to choose my words carefully because I loved working with LA Knight back in the day.
That's an
on
Eli
wrestling.
Drake, you mean?
Yeah. Well, he was Sean Ricker back then.
Sean Ricker. Yeah.
And he tagged with Brian Cage. The group was called Natural Selection. It's a fact of life, dummy. I love working with them, and so they're great. But I do realize that when it comes time to winning the big one, Elliot Knight doesn't. I do realize with his promos, he kind of gets kind of flustered on his promos, and it's not him. It's almost like the yips because I've seen him do promos for years, decades even. But when someone goes, "I'm going to go out there," it's like I don't believe you, and I feel like if I don't believe you as a fan, I'm sure someone in the back goes, "Yeah, it's not really hidden. Bury him." Because he gets his ass kicked weekly. And it only is a matter of time till we go, oh man, I can't believe this guy anymore.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because, frankly, looking back on it in hindsight, 2020, I think he should have won the four-way for the world title. I think he should be the champ right now.
He
And
should.
I think what's going on with him and Jay and everything else would be a lot more fascinating
It
because I
is.
think what's going on with Seth and Punk and Becky and AJ is fascinating regardless of the championship. I mean, I
Okay.
know it's easy to say, like, well, yeah, but this is going to happen. And then CM Punk's going to get the championship match. And eventually CM Punk will be the one to take the title from Seth. And it makes sense. And I get it. It also feels very like, okay, so we're going to take 3 months to get to the place we all know we're going anyways. Which is
I'm
kind
with
of,
you 100%. I think Punk and Rollins are stale. The only reason why I'm still in this is because of AJ. I have to be honest with you. We saw the matches a bunch of times. This whole LA Knight, Jey Uso, will they, won't they, is far more intriguing.
yeah, I'm fascinated by that. We have a super chat. Speaking of AJ, Terrence Matthews dropping the super chat. My favorite person in the chat right now. Yeah, I pick favorites, and it has to do with super chats.
That's awful.
Terrence Matthews says, so many female superstars have said they were inspired by AJ Lee. This is a dream match or dream come true for them. Yeah, Flobo, yes, many of them have said this.
Yeah.
And it can't go unsaid just how influential AJ Lee has been to women's pro wrestling in the United States. Because, I mean, but like she was basically that, missing link between the divas to where we are now. She was the one that was like, I'm going to be a wrestler, but also can cut promos, be a part of stories, do different things like that. It's really cool for everyone involved.
Yeah, I look, and I don't want to shortchange people who are in the in between era, right? Like I think Alicia Fox is in that category too. I think
Mm-hmm.
maybe a step 1A, maybe Melina was in that group too, even
Yeah.
though she was really more of a classical diva with the feathers and all that. But I think with AJ was a presentation. She showed up with chucks and jeans and t-shirt. She was the kid next door before someone like Bailey existed, where it was like, hey, I'm just a quirky girl in theory. In school, these girls are glam, they're beautiful, they're tall, they're strong, but AJ looks like me. She's short like me. She has a cool moveset like me. I mean, that's what heroes are made. That's what I'm saying. Characters are super important for AEW now because those people are fans for life.
Yeah, and it's so funny when you mentioned the look of AJ, how many wrestlers have that look and have had that kind of style to their presentation since AJ Lee really pioneered it. And so, yeah, I think it's awesome that she's there. Terrence Matthews, thank you so much for the super chat. You are my favorite person in the chat today.
Whoa.
That's right, everybody else. I
Dang.
learned from the WWE. You got a super chat, baby.
You just gotta sell out
How
live.
come how come I'm not wearing the NWO stuff?
Because I know I'm a real hero.
I want to talk about NXT. This was a fun show, I thought, this week. Carmelo Hayes returns to help Trick against DIY. Ripley, Vaquer, Stratton, they all return. Now, typically, I'm not a huge, if you're not in the company, don't show up. I was a
Yeah,
big fan
off
of
your
like,
lawn.
yeah,
Say it.
get off my lawn. That's how I feel. And in general, I feel that way. But what I'm loving about this is we're going to homecoming. And I like that they're actually giving this theme. Also, Breeze being there as well.
Oh, poor
Uh,
guy.
poor guy.
The kids don't know who he is. He came out and it was like, it's Tyler Breeze. Everyone was like,
Oh, yeah.
who? I was like,
Uh,
it's Tyler Breeze, man. Fashion
yeah, get
police. Come on.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
The
Gorgeous.
So I actually really dug this. I'm digging what they're doing. I'm digging that they're giving it the homecoming vibe. I'm digging this concept here, and it's working for me. How do you feel about where homecoming's going?
Well, you know, I mean, NXT is a show that I would watch if I wasn't covering wrestling. I kind of like this little bubble world. So I'm all about the eras, man. Homecoming's cool. It kind of came kind of fast, or maybe there's too much wrestling content out there these days. But the ones they've chose, I'm on board. You got 70 back here and Carmelo Hayes, who are recent graduates. You got some of the throwbacks with DIY. I mean, it really is a love letter. That's a word everyone uses nowadays, a phrase of those eras of NXT. And for a TV show, for sweeps or whatever have you, it's a win-win across the board.
Yeah, so it was a good show. It's great to see Carmelo there, especially because I think they're going to be good for everything involved there. I want to talk to you a bit about Lola Vice. She had a good vignette talking about her past and her history and her dad and everything like that. Do you think Lola Vice's time as champion is coming, or do you think this is just another bump in the road for her next thing?
Hey man, I am sick of the Vice City puns. But let's talk about Lola for a bit, man. Here's somebody that had a lot of fanfare of her MMA background, and they kind of made Underground her signature match, but then was kind of floating around. And I don't want to be cynical because I know that a lot of times Jinder Mahal or Ross Desi gets this. Oh, they only put the championship on you because they were going to India one time, which isn't fair because they wouldn't do that if you weren't good at your job.
Right.
But it does seem with the Triple A and having that as a territory, and let's call it what it is, it kind of a territory now. Lola Vice, either due to her background, her style, her bilingual nature, is kind of floating between these brands and could be another arm for NXT. So I'm watching Lola Vice in that odd package where her dad's like, yeah, get him, kid. But like, this could be the future of what it looks like, the new NXT territory system could look like, and how they can build stars organically by putting them in environments where people could cheer for them, much like how El Grande Americano was in Mexico this week as well. It's cool to see a homegrown talent in Lola Vice being used in both promotions.
I actually love the dad in that. Because he was just such a classic proud dad. It was fun to see, you know. So I actually really enjoyed that. I thought it was a great video package. We did see AEW Dynamite tonight, and before we get out of here, there's a few things I want to chat about. Brian Danielson on commentary, new to the commentary team. We chatted a little bit about commentary. I am loving Brian Danielson on commentary. I think he definitely has a second career there. What do you think about? Am I off my rocker thinking that?
Oh man, I don't want to answer honestly because I can't do this positive. We try to be a positive show here at Draped and Gold, except for talking about Jack. I'm negative about him. But
Yeah.
Brian Danielson's good, has a fantastic career, but he can't be with Excalibur because he is a total Excalibur vortex on commentary. And I'm saying that there's plenty of times where there was chance for Brian Danielson to have insight, and it was just spoken over by lead play-by-play, but something that could have been laid out. It wasn't like, oh man, what a maneuver, here's a cover. It was more like, as we know, Bree Hill is very ferocious. And it's like, dude, you could just let that go for 10 seconds. She will still be ferocious after Brian Danielson's point. So I do think there's potential there. I like Brian Danielson, Justice for Tony Schiavone, but if I had control at AEW, I would try to shuffle the deck a bit with the commentary team. I think we're all going to Collision for a couple of weeks in Excalibur's case and see if they can find some new energy in the booth at Dynamite.
I agree with that. I think that Dynamite desperately needs some freshening up, and I think the commentary table could help. It's something that WWE does all the time. Michael Cole jumps from Raw to SmackDown, it seems, every year or two. So I think that's actually a very good point. And I think that bringing like maybe Ian Riccaboni on to do play-by-play with Brian Danielson, and I don't know if you want to keep Taz or if you want to bring in, I think Nigel is fantastic. So I want to hear more of Nigel. And I think just mixing up, I do think that WWE has, or AEW has 4-man booths way too often, and 4 people is just too much to have on a commentary table. You don't need it. And so I don't think you necessarily maybe need Don Callis on there every time one of his 15 wrestlers is in the ring, or something like that. But I do think, to your point, I think Excalibur's probably find himself like, look, if I don't start talking over people, they're going to forget I'm the lead here because everyone's trying to get their stuff in, and 4 people talking is a lot of people talking.
Yeah, and I'm with you, but I think okay, yeah, maybe I'm being a little harsh here when he cut someone off to do like pin count 1, 2, 3, but it's not necessarily. If Excalibur was the best commentator in wrestling, it does help every couple 2 or 3 years to move the things around so people can make audio divisions of the eras of the game. It sounds very much like AEW 2019, even though the presentation around him has changed so much.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think even if he was the best commentator going, they need to freshen up that sound. They need to just give Dynamite something different feeling, something different sounding for a little bit, so it feels like a fresh. I'm trying to think of who's the last person to. I guess it'd be Michael Cole doing Raw, but like 6 years is a long time to be on one show as the lead play-by-play guy uninterrupted that entire time. I think
it was Michael Cole on SmackDown in the early after JR after JR before JR did the whole brand split, 99 to 2004 was Michael Cole. Because remember, Cole would do SmackDown and he would like go away, and then and Raw had Jimmy Smith and Adnan Virk and all the other people and Kevin Egan. So like it was always going, always trying new things in the flagship.
But even then, 99 to 04 isn't 6 years. That would still put Excalibur like the longest run uninterrupted. Because even JR would always, there'd be little interruptions here and there. I mean, at least in the recent, I mean, I don't know, maybe like Monsoon or whoever.
I mean, with all due respect, like Monsoon and JR in the category of their own. I mean, like their primes were their primes for a reason.
Yeah. And so I think it would do good for them to mix it up. I thought Bryan Danielson did very well. What I like about him is he brought weight to certain things where I think sometimes the current commentary team will like laugh over things. It was something we kind of talked about. There was a street fight and someone was getting, I think Sky Blue was getting stapled and they were making jokes about like,
Tony.
Tony
got stapled.
Oh, Tony got stapled. Oh, they were making jokes about like, not going to get through airport security with that or whatever. I'm like, this is supposed to be like, you're supposed to be selling it as like this is painful, not just like, come on, guys.
I blame TikTok. Something happens, go to the comments. That's got a hoit, So.
Yeah. And so I think what Bryan Danielson does, he does bring that gravitas to it that makes it, oh, this is serious. This is a big deal. And so I really like Bryan Danielson on there. Los B asking is speaking of Bryan Danielson on commentary, says he did great. Is he really done wrestling? I have a feeling he'll do a match or two, but as far as being regular, I think he's done.
Yeah, and props to him because he was supposed to be done way years ago and found a way to keep going.
I was a big fan of the Hangman Protostar promo at the beginning of the night. I thought they did a great job. You're a hater, though. What do you say?
I just don't understand what the Protostar is. What is a Protostar? What does that mean? I just feel like the whole young gun wearing the suit, it's been done. Make me something different. And maybe that is him going completely solo without Don Callis. Maybe that may be it. But as is right now, being like, that's my guy. He's young and he's really strong and he's before his time. Get some socks, kid.
What he is he's not just a young, brash person. He thinks that he should be at the top of the card. He thinks he is the best, but also he's a little bit insecure about it. And that's why he finds himself agreeing to things he shouldn't, like no outside interference and putting himself in situations he shouldn't.
You just described MJF. Stop. I'm talking about Kyle Fletcher here.
I don't think MJF
he's young and dresses well, but he makes
MJF isn't insecure about who he is and what he's
totally
doing.
Is because he's easily goaded.
He's easily goated, but that doesn't mean he's
not goated.
Like but to your point, though, I do think if I was in the writer's room, and I'm absolutely not, and that's probably for a good reason, if I was doing things, I would say, you know what Kyle Fletcher should start doing is start demanding more from Don Callis and demanding more from his team, and maybe start becoming the snotty A-list star that starts to demand things from the rest of the cast and their agent. And so it's no longer I'm Don Callis, look at what I'm doing. And it becomes hey, it's not about you. It's about me. Get behind me and start bossing Callis around and start bossing everyone else around until maybe they get sick of him. And
like MJF and Wardlow. Right.
It's like MJF and Wardlow.
Just bossing him around and telling him
Wardlow wasn't his manager.
I'm just saying it seems very much a parallel. Say.
I mean, that's what the Bloodline did. That's what the NWO did. The Wolfpack started for that reason. It's a very simple. It's a very simple formula.
Doom, 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 doom. Woo! Just saying, man. I know you like him.
Turn your back on the Wolfpack.
You don't. Might end up in a body bag. I like the idea of what that person is for the Don Callis family, and I like Kyle Fletcher as a bloke, but the whole Protostar thing to me just seems like a character that he believes he is, but I don't know what or who he is. I always say, how do I describe him to someone who hasn't watched the show? I can't. Young and brash, and he wears watches, lots of those.
He wears lots of watches.
He has two. He had two, like a watch and a bracelet watch. He was like,
Oh, can't. You know what time it is? Ask the Protostar. Last thing, Daniel Garcia joins the Death Riders. Daniel Garcia is someone who I have been very high on for a very long time.
You have.
And I am hoping that he's another guy who can't catch a break in the consistency department. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like he'll be on TV a lot, and then he's off TV a lot, and then he's on TV a lot. I'm hoping this is the time he finally breaks through. Flobo, what's your take on Daniel Garcia neutralizing Darby Allin?
I like how Darby Allin is going to be the biggest nemesis of John Moxley's career forever. That's a guy half your size. No, you're right. Garcia, incredible talent, young man. I can call him young man now. I'm old enough to do that. Has a lot of problems that a lot of the roster has with showing up and disappearing. And that says it's unfortunate because guys like that need to have long-term exposure for us to go, okay, I didn't really see him at first, but I'm buying in. And that's what happened with Kofi Kingston. That's what happened with Al Snow. You want to be able to have to buy in with someone long-term. So I think of all the talent, someone like him would be impacted the most, but it's always good to see someone to show up and really pop that storyline, because I think there were some of us that wanted the Death Riders to disband, but right now I'm kind of intrigued how it works.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the Death Riders have overstayed their welcome, but I actually think they've been more interesting since losing the championship. But now I do feel like they've become a group similar to the Don Callis family in that they're a bit bigger than they need to be. And it feels like the whole group is really just an arm of the leader, which happens sometimes. But when you have a group that big that takes up that much space in the company and pro wrestling, it becomes kind of a problem. You know what I mean? Like,
No, not
no.
at all.
Well, to be fair, with the NWO, they did have their own issues and things that they were doing, and so, you know, Buff Bagwell and Scott Steiner were feuding with Rick Steiner. They had their own thing while Hogan was doing his thing. They were doing other stuff, but like when you have Legacy, for instance, and it's basically just Randy Orton and his guys,
Right.
it's okay when it's two people. But
Yeah.
when it's a lot of people and they are taking up big chunks of the show because there's so many people, but it's really just John Moxley's story, then I think it becomes a problem.
Well, for me, it's Marina's story, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm with you 100%. Like I like this Death Ride idea. Like I like having a just like, oh man, these guys are here again kind of vibe. But you can't do it all the time. But I cannot defend it. It sounds like I'm tired. It's like I get it. It reminds you of like the first Roman run when he was a babyface. People are just sick of them, you know.
Yeah. I think they also need a rebrand or something, but we'll see how that goes. That's the show, Flobo. You stayed your hour.
Whoa!
Let's wrap it up here. Flobo, before we go, any final words, and where can the world find you online?
I feel like Excalibur now. That's right. In 2 weeks, it's going to be Draped in Gold, number 200. You're all invited back here at 10:30 Eastern, 2 weeks from now, 2 Wednesdays. And next week, Jack Farmer's not even going to be here. So we're having Draped in Gold Homecoming, some special guests from eras gone by. You want to be able to do that, episode 189. My name is Lobo Boyce. You can check me online at justthesandwich.com. It's a blog. I do posts every week, justthesandwich.com. Of course, I'm on that Blue Sky and that X at Flobo Boyce.
Let us know what you think we should do for our 200th episode. I've got some ideas. None of them are good. But you can find me at Real Jack Farmer across all social media. That's where you can find all the things that I've got going on. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. And
what are you doing?
Well,
1, 2, 3.
and
Let's get out of here, man.